Two big weather threats are looming for this weekend. Got a return of widespread severe weather, and on top of that, we're watching a system in the tropics that could bring some huge impacts to someone. Now, how is this all going to play out, and how bad will it get? We have all of that and more. Today's Friday forecast, which starts right now. What's up, guys? Meteorologist Stormcat 5 here. Let's start with the visible satellite. Couple of things to point out. One, look at this thing spinning off the east coast here. This is a big time powerful low pressure system. Across the rest of the country, though, we do not have a lot going on. That is going to change. And the two things we're going to talk about this video, we got the severe weather and we also got the tropics. We're going to start here with the severe weather. Believe it or not, we are going to have a low pressure that's going to come up here from New Mexico and eventually slide into the heart of the country and spawn severe weather on Saturday. Now, we could get some severe storms possibly today in places like Kansas and Oklahoma City. We're not talking about tornadoes. That threat will come tomorrow. Look at this big slight risk down here in parts of the Ozarks, down in Arkansas, into Mississippi. And that's where we have this 5% risk to see tornadoes from Nashville basically through Little Rock, Arkansas, and that includes Memphis as well. And then this 2% risk goes all the way up to Indianapolis and all the way down to Shreveport, Louisiana. Now, wind and hail are also going to be threats tomorrow, and this is widespread severe weather that we have not seen in a good bit. So Saturday is going to be the big day with severe weather, but how will it time out? Now, starting off here on Friday, once again, could get some isolated storms here in Oklahoma, back into Texas today, but that is not the main threat. The main threat is on Saturday. Waking up Saturday morning, we could have a couple of showers and storms ongoing in Missouri here, possibly some rain showers back in Oklahoma City. And this is actually where our main piece of energy will be, which will be the catalyst for all those showers and storms popping up Saturday evening. This little bit of a trough here in the jet stream. This is the 500 millibar level. See that trough right in there? That is our energy for that severe weather to give it that extra lift on Saturday. And so time this out here, once again, Saturday morning shouldn't get much, but as we go throughout the day, look at all these showers and storms. You get this big broken line of storms that goes from really up in Michigan all the way down to Little Rock, Arkansas. And I think the greatest tornado threat will be earlier in the day as a couple of these storms try to remain discreet here. So right here, right here, right here. Some of these storms could be spinning, hence could produce a tornado or two. But then as we go later in the day, they'll quickly form into a big line of storms, slam their way off to the east, and the tornado threat should decrease as we go later on into the night. Look how big this line of storms is, guys. This is classic October here. We've got rain and storms that span from Detroit, Michigan, all the way down through New Orleans. If we take a look at the sounding for tomorrow night, this does not scream tornado outbreak to me by any means. So yes, we could have a tornado or two, especially early on in the evening. But as we get later and later, that tornado threat should decrease. So if you live in Arkansas, if you live in Tennessee, just heads up, we are going to get some severe weather, wind, hail, maybe a spin up or two. So have a way to get those weather warnings tomorrow on Saturday. Now, Sunday, as that low continues to slide up through the Great Lakes, we could see some isolated severe weather, places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, but we're not talking about widespread severe weather, just talking about some gusty winds, mainly pretty standard stuff this time of year. Okay, so that was one threat. That was our severe weather, but what about the tropics? And taking a look at the tropics right now, really there's two systems we're watching. This one, this spinny little thing off the east coast, that should not be a threat to anyone but some fish. The bigger threat is down here in the open waters of the Atlantic. Right now, this is just a group of disorganized showers and thunderstorms, but as it moves off to the east, as it moves into the Caribbean right here, the thinking is that it could become a tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane. Our next named storm is Melissa. So I'm not concerned about this system in the short term. In the long term, later on this weekend into next week, that's when things could get very interesting. Now check this out. Here's the European model. This gives us one idea about how it's going to play out. Here's our system right now. Nothing happening. Watch as we go throughout Saturday, Sunday. Once again, nothing happens. This thing just stays loosely organized. Not a problem at all. But going into Monday, Tuesday, look at this. The center starts developing here in the open waters of the Caribbean right there. Then watch what happens later on next weekend. You've got this storm system that develops into a tropical storm and eventually into a hurricane and then moves north and west. And guys, this is the European model and it has a strong hurricane. Now, the three things you need for hurricane development are some sort of disturbance, and we got that right here. We need warm ocean temperatures, and we got that. Some of the warmest waters in the world right now are in the Caribbean. That's like hurricane rocket fuel. And then you need lack of wind shear, guys, and this is next week when the system would develop. You'll notice down here in the Caribbean, there's basically no wind shear. That's a problem. Now, there's 3 possible scenarios for this storm system. Scenario 1 is it gets buried into Central America. That looks like it's becoming less and less likely the closer we get. Scenario 2, this is the bad one for the US here. It develops into a tropical storm or a hurricane and then moves into the Gulf, avoids getting pulled to the north by a trough, and then eventually moves either towards Florida or towards the Gulf Coast. Now, scenario 3, and actually this is where a lot of the models have been leaning today. This system once again becomes a tropical storm or a hurricane and then gets pulled sharply to the northwest, makes landfall either in Cuba or Hispaniola, and moves into the open waters of the Atlantic and stays away from the US. It's very important for us to use the ensembles here, and the European ensemble has been trending towards scenario 3 today. You'll notice each one of these circles that form is a different member of the ensemble and a different storm. So the more blue circles here you see, the stronger the storm system will likely become. And watch as we go Sunday, Monday, into next week, see that sharp turn to the north and east that has it avoiding Florida. And even more show that going into the last week of October. Look at that. And that's been a trend here depicted on the AI models. This is the Google AI model right here. And I'm showing you this because it's been leaning towards scenario 3, which is the out to sea version, for a couple of days now. But the difference here is the Google AI model, actually, a lot of the members have it going out to sea much sooner. I mean, this is October 25th here. And look how many of these members have it pushing into the Atlantic by the beginning of next weekend. Now, if we compare that to the American ensemble here, the GFS ensemble, a little bit of a difference here. The GFS has it hanging out much longer in the Caribbean, getting strength, and then some of the members have it going like this, some have it going like this. Very few have it moving into the Gulf at all. So right now, what are the things that we know? Well, we know this thing has a pretty good chance at becoming a storm, and we know we're gonna have basically perfect hurricane conditions in the Caribbean where this thing is moving. What we don't know is exactly how strong this is gonna get or where this is going to go. Because our storm is likely to sit in the Caribbean for several days, it's just a matter of which trough is gonna swing down and pick it up and eventually move it north. Right now, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can tell you all 3 of these scenarios are still at play. Bottom line, guys, I'm gonna be watching this system like a hawk, and so should you. And especially if you live on the Gulf Coast, in Florida, or in the Southeast Coast as well. Don't need to take any action just yet, but it's time to start paying attention. All right, guys, that's all I got today. I'm gonna be live later today on the Big Weather Show, so make sure you check it out. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. Hopefully you love this new content. Find someone, tell them you love them, tell them you care about them. Do something nice for someone today. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Stormcat 5. I'll see you on the next one.